Some guys have all the luck, Kenny.
Thomas banks it in.
Speaking of luck.
Thomas. Off the window and in.
I think the important thing is reevaluated Monday, so a quicker reevaluation of that left knee hyperextension as Thomas hits the mid-range than Paul had in the preseason.
Early part of the season, Johnson off the Claxton screen. Claxton flips it. Johnson out to Johnson. It's Johnson and Johnson products.
Certainly looked like there was a little more aggression from Finney-Smith at the end of that play. There's Thomas, takes it inside and lays it in. Bridges and Brunson leading the way for the Knicks, 7 points apiece. Thomas fires from three again. He is now 5 for 5.
Nets have turned it over 10 times. Nearly the 11. Thomas somehow turns it into that.
Hit all 4 of his attempts, including 3 3-point field goals. Here's Thomas. Gets the roll. That's it.
Johnson using the screen, trying to find room.
Nets reluctant to shoot the ball.
Thomas. And rattles that one in.
Musa earlier this summer was property of the LA Clippers. They released him and the Hornets found him, and he has just been a great success story. Not just the way that he plays, but the way that he prepares.
5-second differential, shot clock, game clock.
Lazy pass by Brunson.
Knicks turn it over, and Thomas converts.
Thomas defended by Murray, high screen, sharp. Thomas doesn't use it. The jab and jumper is smooth for Cam Thomas.
Thomas was 16 now, having a great third quarter, make it 18 for the microwave score of Cam Thomas.
Buddy Hield has taken an offer. Thomas pull up, automatic.
It's Rollins's first personal. We're tied at 19. There's Thomas once again, high off the glass, and again, just showing off.
His three ball, it is fun when he's making threes. It is such a difference maker. Wow.
Thomas answers. Merrill over his last 3 games has hit 8 of 11 from three-point territory. Out comes Keon Johnson. Clowney to the elbow, dumps it back to Thomas. Thomas steps back.
And again, that's what he didn't have in his bag, as the kids would say, when he started his NBA career. Went back overseas and worked on that three-point shot. And we know that guy can shoot from absolutely anywhere. That's Cam Thomas on the baseline.
Caught on a mismatch there. He gets some help on the double team from Sabonis. Thomas touches paint, had it knocked away. Good contest by De'Aaron, but a wonderful shot.
Buzelis guarding Cam Thomas. Another good test for the rookie. Thomas with the step and the score.
Both teams digging in on the defense early.
Here's Simmons, guarded by Sims. Cam Thomas.
We featured Thomas at the top of the show because of his offensive prowess.
In terms of the deficit going into the break. Thomas around the screen by Simmons.
You cannot defend that any better.
Thomas, well, he can navigate through so much traffic on defense.
Lead is 12.
Thomas keeps that dribble alive. A short jumper is good.
So the Sixers started off the night scorching hot from beyond the arc, and since then they've come back to earth. 8 for 24, and that's 8 for 18. Make it 9 for 19 as Thomas switches the three.
They're fortunate that they didn't turn it over. Thomas, Baker goes.
Hornets coaching staff really can't say enough good things about Damian Baugh and what he has done over the 3 weeks he's been with the team. Smart player with good body, able to get in passing lanes, play defensively, can handle, doesn't seem to get too rattled.
And we've seen that. I mean, Cam Thomas.
Down to 1:10 to play, first half. And the lead for the Nets is down to 4. Thomas yet to get it going. That's going to help. Cam Thomas, first field goal of the night.
And missed a lot of those. He's not in the Spurs uniform.
Doesn't shoot from the outside, so he drives it as Thomas scores it.
Boy, that was a world-class finish.
OG Anunoby, 20 or more. Leads all scorers with 22. Picks up by 8. And Thomas counted and a foul. Chance of a three-point play.
Thomas off the DHO, picked up by Jones on the switch. Thomas rejects the screen. Sidestep three, hits nothing but nylon.
Steve Kerr talked about improved Warrior transition defense. Wiggins hustle saved a layup. And Thomas. Oh, man.
Watford tracks it down. 1 minute in, fourth quarter. Thomas, contested shot over Merrill. Wow.
That was great defense.
I think it's in the stock room at Aldi right now.
He's got it. Aldi's got it right now, baby.
Now Buzelis has to defend a very good score. Nice moves by Cam Thomas. Thomas hits a three.
I'll tell you what, they're 6 of 12 right now from the three-point line. That's the difference.
There's plenty of time left, and as long as there's time ticking on that clock, a guy like Darius Garland can give you fits, and he has just done exactly that tonight. 30 big points.
Cam Thomas.
We don't need, our goal is not to be the best in game 12, it's to be the best in June, and you just have to exhibit some patience. As Thomas shot is good and a foul.
For 24 points the last time they played. Nice job, Cam.
Take advantage on the boards, get inside. They don't have the same type of presence when it comes to rim protection.
Here's Cam Thomas. I'm telling you.
Listen.
On the season is Bridges.
And again, second opportunities igniting the team.
Thomas with a straightaway three.
Right for the rim that time, just couldn't finish.
5 on 4. Brooklyn has numbers, has Thomas, has the two.
He is a strong finisher.
It seems to me they've got to emancipate this man. Let him see some more playing time.
Thomas with another three. That's his 7th of the night.
For the Warriors, the Nets are down by 5. We're down to 13 seconds left. Thomas. Oh! Cam Thomas!
Poked free. I think Day'Ron Sharpe got a piece of that. Here comes Cam Thomas in a second game back. And that is just all strength to be able to get that to go.
Curry not allowing it. Shot clock is down to 2, down to 1. Thomas waits and hits. He's a bucket.
Oh, wow. Oh, easy for Cam Thomas. Just dives in and scores.
Being guarded by Fox. Now Fox switches on to Thomas. 8 on the shot clock. Thomas will not hesitate.
Thomas working around the second screen. Thomas drives in. Cam Thomas out of this world.
Milton hands it off to Thomas. Fox all over him. He snakes the screen. Thomas, man, that is a tough bucket.
In-season tournament last year, now referred to as the NBA Cup. Here's Thomas from 3. He's knocked down and connects.
Thomas gets around heel. Thomas puts it up, gets the roll.
Came off the roll open. He never got it, but he just kept working.
Cam Thomas, he does a bucket, man. Puts that in, draws the foul.
Pistons team that, speaking of playing very well.
This is the 11th back-to-back of the season as Thomas wheels his way to the rim for 2.
Runs a little ghost screen action, gets it back. Lost the handle, and Brooklyn on the run. That's the 5th turnover of the game for Sacramento. Cam Thomas off the window.
Claxton Hall's in the rebound.
Love the defensive effort by DG. That's exactly what I'm talking about, being aggressive on this end.
Not a ton of resistance more often than not because of the lack of a big.
Thomas drives in. Off the hezzy. Cam Thomas banks it home.
7 huge points in the fourth quarter. Herter with 18 tonight. Bulls' biggest lead at 8 with a minute left. Thomas hits a 3.
What a nice performance from the rookie.
Thomas. Oh, how did he get that? Under Keldon. defense has Cam Thomas on a switch. This isn't easy. Draymond stabbed at him. Cam Thomas scoring anyway. Man.
Max Strus coming up for that screen, and he goes away from the screen. Craig does and gets through.
Thomas puts it up and in and draws the foul.
Thomas, sidestep three, nothing but net, right in front of us.
Thomas defended by Sims. Thomas from three for the third time.
That's a great point on your part. I mean, before that defense can get set and face a bunch of doubles and blitzes.
Reverse falls for Thomas.
McClung's that one down. Thomas is good.
They just fire you up. They get you all hyped.
Cam Thomas.
Nets basketball trailing the Knicks by 2. 5 minutes gone by. First quarter. Thomas again. That's his 4th three. He is 4 for 4 from behind the arc.
Thomas on the bounce. Took a bump from Garland. Can't penetrate. Keeps his dribble. Thomas wearing those bright green shoes. Cans an 18-footer.
Thomas in the front court, guarded by Colby Jones. Got around the top of the screens. Ellis switches onto him, but a little bit too late.
He's not taking outside jumpers. He's living in the paint.
He's taken 3 NBA threes his whole career.
Doesn't have to when you got that jump hook.
Of what we just saw there, no hesitation. You make the cut and you continue on, and Domas will find you.
Cam Thomas raises up and banks it home.
You can get 2 sometimes. You can get a layup or a dunk sometimes. It's okay. You don't have to run to the three-point line on the 3-on-1 break.
Thomas a step back 3. That was nasty.
Sharp the screen. Thomas handles.
Short clock on the inbound. It comes to Claxton. Tries to get it back to Thomas. Thomas, a contested 3. Nothing but net.
Well, you've got to be even closer to him.
Cam Thomas hadn't been able to play a whole bunch this year.
Remain on the floor for the Knicks.
Cam Thomas is also reinserted. There he is on the baseline.
And Thomas, like Brunson, just off the bench.
On pace for 56 tonight. Fox with 14. Thomas with the little jelly at the rim. Hey, Cam Thomas is on a heater too. He's got 50.
Before the game, you know, without saying that, I mean, it's just he has the ability to score, and he's going to.
Claxton, Williams, and Johnson rounding out the 5 for Brooklyn. Thomas. Oh my goodness! Score the goal with contact.
Thomas with Santos. Shows it. Cam Thomas.
Brunson teed up twice last season. That's his first this year. Here's Thomas, found the lane. The runner is good.
Slicing and dicing a couple of Knicks that time.
Every opportunity I may get, about 15 minutes, 20, 30 minutes, my goal is always to get out there and contribute toward winning. It sounds like a Kobe mentality to me, and as you mentioned earlier, MJ, Giannis called GT's performance against Indy Kobe-esque.
Being comfortable shooting it in multiple areas in that lane, no one can touch it.
Thomas got it. Wow. 10 first half threes for the Nets.
Thomas, that was the 2 for 1.
For Bridges as Cam Thomas gets it. The floater's up, shot bounces around and drops in. So Bridges this is his 7th year.
They have to do it by committee today, for sure. Cam Thomas to the rolling Day'Ron Sharpe. He pitches it back out to Thomas. Isaac is there. Isaac took it away from him. Thomas gets it back. Shot clock at 1, and he makes the three-point shot.
Off one leg. But I guess since we lost it, I don't think the truck would include it.
And Thomas with a head fake, and then the jumper over Queen.
Miles with a tough angle. That's Cam Thomas.
Yeah.